Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today, we are working on our regex engine. So, the idea behind the project is we wanted to put a regex engine in the kernel because we thought it would be kind of fun slash funny, whichever one you want to call it. And the vision for the thing is that we create like this like pseudo device driver that sits at dev regex, and we like write a bunch of stuff into that file, right? So we open the file, we write stuff in. We can like set an out of band regex to run with an ioctl. So we say we've defined this like regex set thing, and we call ioctl, we set the regex, and then we just we read the stuff back, and as we read, the regex is run over the input, and we only get back the lines that match the regex, right? So we have like a very basic version of this working. If we run qemu, and we can look, and we can't look, but if we look at dev and we look at dev regex, we see that file does exist. And if we run that test app that we just showed, we see that like we only see lines coming out that are like again, hello again, goodbye again. And if you look at that file we were just looking at, we do see that like we have more lines than again, hello again, goodbye again, and we are only matching things that end with again. Simple. We have been working on this visualizer yesterday, so like we can take a regex, break it down into its components, and kind of see how our regex parser kind of progresses. So if we're trying to match like again, my friends, the way it works right now is it kind of just like steps forward through the string. He sees like, oh, that word looks like the beginning of the sequence of things that I'm trying to match against. Then he sees like a space which matches like the green thing, and then he sees again, and he goes like, oh, that doesn't match like the next thing in my list. So he jumps back, he keeps moving forward, and then he tries again, and he sees the thing, right? We are going to try to use this view to implement some form of wildcard matching. I don't really know what that's going to look like yet. I just know that it's like kind of complex, and so we wanted to have some way to visualize it, right? I've been thinking about like kind of like just the basic case, right? We have A, B, 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 B. This is our input string. And what if we're trying to match A star, B star, BB. Like, what does that look like really in terms of implementation, right? We know that when we see this, that like AA could kind of like match like this. It could also match this, right? Because I think A star is one or more, right? Then like surely this has to be matched by the A star. This has to be matched by the B star. But then again, we have like the same problem where at the end it's like BB or BB. I think that generally these things are supposed to be like greedy matchers. A star is zero more. Oh, okay. So I'm just an idiot. Cool. I thought I had star and plus swap. So thank you. We can implement it however we want though. Our regex engine could say A star is one or more if we wanted. It would just be a bad regex engine if it did that. But yeah. So like, what do we do here? And so I'm kind of thinking there's going to be some form of like we walk the input, and here we'll probably like see this and we'll go like, oh, that's like a good start. That's looking promising to us, right? And then maybe we'll like look here and we'll try to like greedily match as many star A's as we can for the A star. But then we probably will want to like keep track of like the beginning and end of this range so that later, if we find out that like the next thing in here is like a C, which doesn't match B star, then like maybe there's like some way to backtrack and be like, okay, well maybe there was like some, if it was like, this is a bad example. Maybe if there was a C like here somewhere, then there's like some backtracking that has to be done like through wildcard ranges is kind of what I'm thinking. I don't really know. It's just that's what my gut says. Like keep track of range of things that you matched and maybe go back through those sections if you didn't match the rest of the sequence later. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah. So I think the plan of action is we need to like parse the wildcard part of the regex, right? So it's like before we were kind of like saying like, okay, this would all be one thing. I guess we would kind of like just parse this as like one block. Now that we have like stars, you kind of need to like move forward like this, and then like when you see the star, look for the thing before it as the thing that is possibly repeating. So that's step one, is like figure out how to like parse this regex. Then when we do that, maybe we will try to match like the bounds of a wildcard. We won't try to like implement any backtracking or anything. We'll just say like when we get to a wildcard, let's try to like see what that looks like. and then like actually implement some form of like test the handling of what happens if we match too much. That's the plan. That's the plan. So step one. Step one is compile wildcards. So we've kind of been doing this in Zig. We've kind of been splitting our stuff a little bit recently. And we've kind of got to the point now where we have like this like regex engine section that can run in either user space or kernel space. And it looks just like kind of like normal code, which is nice for us. And I think probably our Lexer here says like when we are in normal mode, so we kind of like, depending on like if we have seen certain characters in the past, we are going to parse kind of differently in the future, right? So if we see like an open brace, if we see like an open brace, until we see a closed brace, like these are no longer special characters. But if we haven't seen an open brace, or an open bracket, I should say, these have special meaning. So in this case where we're looking at stuff with special meaning, I guess we're kind of looking for like, if we're like kind of looking for special character of star somewhere. And if we see a star, the thing before it is important. So there's kind of like two parts to this. Right now, the way it works is like we see like we see like some stuff, then like a $sign, or some stuff, then like some square brackets and some other stuff. And what we do is if we're here, we say like just consume everything up until the next special character you see. So I think that's still fair. That still makes sense. But so we can like put the star in here as like a thing that we're looking for. But if we see the star, we don't want to go all the way up to it. I don't think. Because then it will like get consumed as part of the like block of characters. So I think we want to go one back in that case. I think. So here we can say like idx is equal to this, or else null, or else return null, sorry. If we find something, then we check if self input at idx is equal to star. If that's true, then we return idx minus 1. And if index is 0, then we have a fucking problem. So next special character pause. Let's see. So here we have find next special pause given our current input state. And so here we need to say if idx is 0, there's like been a mistake. Right? So this is going to be like no leading special repeat character. No repeat character, I guess we'll call it. Which means that here we need to say that we have no repeat character. Okay. And otherwise we return back to the character that we're trying to repeat. I think that makes sense. So then we should kind of consume up until that point. And then on our next iteration, we'll be like, are we looking at a special character? And here, I guess we will say, first of all, we're kind of like unconditionally looking at index 0, which is fair because we have checked if the input length is already 0. But if the input length is greater than 1, we want like if else we do nothing here, we return null down here, and then here we can check if self input len is greater than 0, greater than 1, sorry. Then we can say if, or and, I guess is where this makes sense, self input 1 is equal to star. In this case, we have a special thing. Ooh, hold on. So if we have like, I've kind of fucked up here. So if you have like, you're like match letters A, B, or C many times. The wild card actually just like refers to like the thing behind it, right? Not necessarily an individual character, but like maybe a set of characters. And so this way of saying like consume until that thing, I don't think makes sense. So let's look at this. So if we output a character set, that kind of gets like written out from our Elixir as like a thing that's getting repeated. It's almost like we kind of just want to spit out that it's a wild card, right? And was wild card the right word? Repeat, maybe? We can just call this thing a repeat, and then maybe the parser side kind of handles that. That kind of feels more reasonable to me. So here we'll say, this is a repeat. We won't do any of this like special -1 handling bullshit. So here we just return this again. None of this. This doesn't error out anymore. And we have this no repeat car thing goes away. So if we see that, we can just kind of retroactively fix whatever came before it, right? So if we have, where do we like compile this thing? Compile here. So if we see repeat, maybe we like take the previous thing. We're gonna say like take previous matcher, and then if depending on its type, like split last like thing out of it and shove that into our repeat elem. That kind of feels good to me. Right, so we have kind of like our match items. We're gonna have like repeat, and this is actually just gonna repeat a matcher. Or a match item, sorry. Right, so he could repeat anything of this. So he could repeat character set, he could repeat end of line. I mean, having a repeat end of line doesn't really make sense, but he could have it. He could have a repeat start of line, he could have a repeat contains. It could be anything. Right, because I think, let me double check here. If we were to do something like, hi, bye, and then repeat that like one or more times. If I write hi, bye, that matches, right? So it can be anything. It can be anything. Yeah, so this being a match item makes sense. And I think that this won't compile. I assume this won't compile because this is a recursive definition, right? So I assume you have to do this, but we can start like this and see just how badly it fucking falls over. Maybe before we even do that, for now, let's just try to make sure that we're compiled before we check that. So where the fuck our matcher is, he's already doing his best. He's just going to take this repeat and not do anything, which makes sense to me. We're kind of just discarding repeats, and he does build. And so now if I go back here and I say repeat match item, he does get a little angry, which makes sense. So we'll just do this. Switch must handle all possibilities, right? So that makes sense. So everybody who previously was working with this guy is now gotta get his shit stubbed out. So that's probably in our matcher somewhere. ToString. We have repeat, and this is gonna be, I guess we're going to call this, what are we gonna do here? We're going to, this is for like visualization. I guess we're gonna say like repeat in brackets with the internal matcher, which is matcher toString again. And I guess here toString allocates. So this kind of has to go like this. We'll say const inner is m2string with our allocator. Defer inner alloc free inner. And then here we do inner like this. And then I guess since everything else is kind of like returning, we need to break block like this. Yeah, all right. What is the number of bytes consumed by a repeat? This is unclear, right? So this num bytes thing, which says like, okay, so this thing matched. How far should we go forward now? This no longer is like an API that makes sense. So here we just have to say return error unhandled unimplemented, I guess we'll call it, because this can't be implemented. So this now gets a try here. This needs to return a named error like this. And then what? This already gets tried. Looks like we are still missing some repeat handles, so we'll come back to that. I guess it's like repeat here. And so this says like, does our current segment start with this thing? And so this says like, I guess I'll just say unimplemented here as well. I guess. Seems reasonable to me. Regex 240 is mad that unimplement doesn't exist here. That's fair. What else is inquiry? toString at 277. I guess I do need to type try here. And then switch must handle all cases at 76. Oh, this is in our two Linux errors thing. This is 76 here. So here we need impl file error. What was it? Unimplemented? And I wonder if there is like a unimplemented error no already. If I just type like enomem over somewhere and then jump to definition, is there like no e busy e range? Where does this come from? Erno base. Is there like a erno unimplemented? Does that exist? I'm looking for specifically erno. I guess we'll just write no ent is close. I guess e inval is kind of the closest that we can do, because technically it's an invalid argument if we haven't implemented it. I guess it's not invalid, but we haven't done it, so we'll just say Linux error e inval. All right, we compile again, and so now let's, I guess if we do this right, we can run our replay, we can like run our visualizer and see if he parses out the correct thing. And we just have to make sure that if we fail, we can like flag that as somewhere. You could try enot support. I'm down to check if that exists. Not that it really matters, because this won't exist for much longer, but unknown type name enot sub. Yeah, sure, but like, can I like enot sub defined for NFS-v3 protocol? That's kind of funny. I think I'm not gonna do that. That's it's okay. It seems weird to like abuse NFS error names for us. Okay. So let's go into our recorder. What do we call it? Regex replay. And we just have to make sure that if our matching fails, so here, if this fails, we should still write out as much of the recording as we can instead of just like hard crashing. So maybe we'll kind of slap this shit in a function that's like run matcher. Just take this up in here. We need a match iterator, which I guess is a pointer to some like regex match iterator. Certainly. We need an allocator. All right. And we need recording items, which I think is a stood array list of recording item, I think. As well as, I guess this will just return true or false. So if it succeeds, can kind of just do this. Okay, looks fine. So now just down here we say run matcher given our allocator, our match iterator, our recording items, and was that it? I can't remember. Yeah, it looks like it. And we say if this, I guess we say like catch do nothing, or maybe this has to be an if now, and we say like if matched, else we have some error that we don't want to give a shit about, and we can just maybe write down like stood log error failed to run matcher. That's fine by me, right? Who cares? It's just whatever. And then here, if we matched, maybe we can just say like this thing either does match or does not match. So const match s is equal to if matched else did not match. That's kind of nicer to me anyways. This needs to go in brackets, I guess. My rust infected my brain a little bit. And then, yeah. Sure. Yeah, okay, so I think that this should now at least show us highlights if the thing for like which parts were parsed. I think, if we did everything right. So now we can like zig build. He's mad because run matcher. It's true that he does not return an error. He should return an error though. Match iterator. These things don't need ampersands on them anymore. And I guess we don't need to log the match bounds anymore either. We don't need that. That's silly. Silly. Okay. So we can now probably regex replay. So let's like throw a like star here on again, my friends. And can we look at like what that did? This should be in like res replay.html, I guess. Syntax error, JSON parse. What's going on here? Did this get generated just now? 2123? It did. It also looks like, I guess we just can see this here. It didn't throw the wildcard in there. And I guess it's because we didn't actually implement the thing. Now I'm remembering that we did just ignore it. So let's start here. And so we'll say, what do we do here? This should, well, let's make sure here, at least if we turn like error unimplemented. If we run this again, he doesn't even complain. Oh, because I didn't put a star in here because I'm a fucking idiot. So like, let's put a star here. There we go, unimplemented. Really good for us. I second Enoch sub. It's what the kernel returns if you try to invoke an unknown syscall. Okay. Then I take back what I said about abusing NFS returns, but I do not take back that I'm not going to do it because this shouldn't make it out of like today's work. Because we will implement it. We will implement it. Okay, so if we see a repeat thing, we basically need to like take the last thing. So if our seek items len, right? Is this an array list? It is. If this is 0, we're fucked. So this is going to return error like no repeat, right? I'm assuming this is invalid, right? If we throw a star at the beginning of the line here, like I'm assuming that's like, yeah, that's not valid, right? So here, no repeat lm, we'll call it. Okay, which means we'll deal with the compiler. Well, fine. It's just the Linux thing. Interface zig. This guy needs like else. Can we just do panic? I don't know, man. Linux error inval, and I'll just put fix me here. Nope. But I just don't want to deal with this over and over and over and over again. But this is like I just don't want to deal with it. But I will later. Because I wrote fix me, and you can never forget to fix a fix me. It's impossible. Okay, so then we look at like match the last thing, right? So we say like prev lm, and depending on what that is, this should be prev lm, I think. I like the black dot chasing the road zones. Oh yeah, I think that was BLEUSS underscore is his username. He's that's a banger. I'm happy with that one. So here, if the previous LM was SOL, start of line, is that valid? That feels like it's invalid as well. Yeah, fuck that shit. So if we have SOL or EOL, these just are like the same thing, right? No repeat LM. If we have a dot contains, we basically have to like this has like some string that's trying to match against, and we just need to like pop the last. What the fuck did I just do? We need to like pop the last element out of this thing, which means that we need to like, let's see, this contains thing I think is a slice. Yeah. So here, this is kind of weird in that we need to like split last character from contains. Then we have like, is there like a, in this language, I assume no, but is there like a struct destructuring? Like where you can do like in C++, you can do like auto A, B is equal to tuple type thing. I don't think that exists in this language. I don't think. So instead, we will just say split contains is equal to this. And then we'll have split contains dot contains is now this thing. So S is equal to this now. But now we have like something to put into our thing. So try seek append. I guess we append a what? It's like dot repeat equals a new match item pointer. So it's like new match, I guess. I think there's probably going to be some sort of like split contains.d in it here. We have like new match is going to be a alloc create match item. Okay. Error defer alloc destroy new match. This is going to basically look like it contains of a single element, I guess, is what is the simplest thing to do here. So we're gonna have like match new match equals contains with split contains. I guess we'll call it first and second. I guess kind of makes sense. So this will be first here. New match is this. And can anything else fail here? I guess here we try to append. So here we try to append and we say repeat equals new match. There we go. Okay. And then only after all of these succeed is when we assign this. Not that like we already said that if things fail, we're fucked, but this is like, you know, doing it this way out of habit is good to say like, we only assign things to like external state once everything else has succeeded. Oh, we do need to create this split last car thing. This is certainly needs to take an allocator. And I guess we'll kind of implement this. Split contains. So we have const split contains with a struct, which we said had first and second. And so this takes in an allocator and a contains, which is just a constituate. So here we basically have to say that like, we want to allocate s len -1 u8s. So this is const a b. These will have to be tried. This is 1, which is a little silly, but you know, it is what it is. Then what? Then I guess we mem copy dest from source. So this is a to s dot 0 to s len -1, and b is equal to s len -1. There we go. And then we return first equals a, second equals b. And I'm realizing now that we also here need to free the old thing. So alloc free s. And then we're chilling. This should be, I guess he needs a dnit, that's true. And that just says like free everything, baby. Like this, and that means we need self here. Yeah, fuck it. Okay. Maybe that's reasonable. And then I guess else we will. I guess the only other thing is char set, and char set is easy, because the char set doesn't need any splitting or anything. We just repeat the whole set. So we still do this like new match thing, right? We still kind of do all of this where we create a new match and we append the new match. But now we just kind of seek pop. Is that allowed here? Prev elem is a pointer to this thing. So if we sequence pop here, even this is a little sketchy, to be honest, right? Because this is like, we have like a reference to this thing. So maybe we just copy this. But we want to be able to edit it as well, which is kind of fucked. So I guess all of this, we can't actually like append the new element here because it might reallocate the array. Which makes all of this a little sketchy. So how do we do this without fucking our shit up? I guess it's like you almost want to do action is get repeat action or something, right? And then you have uh inject or add uh remove last, right? To completely pop, or replace last. Right? So this is uh sorry, let me think. This is gonna be new elements, and then you can do something that's this will have one or two things associated with it. Either it completely replaced the last thing. So if you had char set followed by repeat, right? This char set just gets completely consumed by the repeat. Where if you have contains then repeat, this contains is going to be contains 0 to n minus 1, then repeat last car or something, right? So, but this is still a new thing that's different than the thing it was before. So we can kind of say new elements is going to be one or two things, right? Depending on if it split the last thing or it replaced it. And then we can kind of say seek pop, right? LMD in it probably has to be done almost certainly. And then we can say for new elem uh seek dot append new elem or something, right? That doesn't seem crazy. I guess we know though, no matter what, that we have to pop this thing. So it actually makes more sense to just do seek pop here. Then we don't have to do this shit. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Since there's no state to we were kind of talking earlier about how it's kind of nice to leave yourself in a good state if you error out. But we were kind of if this compile errors, then there's just nothing. There's no state to hold on to. It's just fucked. It's fucked. It's fucked. You know. Okay. So then what happens? Then here we are free to append whatever the fuck we want. This doesn't have to be edited at all. This is just a fucking dead piece of shit. Seems reasonable. So here we need new match dot star equals car set equals s, like this. And then here we probably now that we have elements that have allocations in it, we need to do defer prev lm.dnit. This has to get done. And I think that's fine because when we split last car, this copies everything anyways. So I think that there's nobody holding on to this thing. That's not true. In the char set, he does hold on to him. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. Do we have a dnit on this right now? No, but this allocates stuff, so we need one. I'm thinking. Sometimes, funny how the walking figure sometimes carries a ball. Yeah, that is pretty funny. It gets kind of stuck in his hitbox. Yeah, and it's fuck it, whatever. So here she takes an allocator. Right? Surely we need to alloc free contains, right? Or alloc free char set? Surely, right? This is else I guess we'll kind of call the other ones out manually. So these guys get nothing. This is contains is alloc free s, and char set is also that, and then repeat is item dinit alloc. We recurse down and then we free it. Alloc destroy item. All right, seems fine. Seems fine. It's weird to me that this wasn't a problem before, or like we didn't see errors related to this. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised. Okay, so now our thing, wherever the fuck we were on our like repeat handling and compilation, this needs to be like if we're gonna have like var keep prev is false, and if keep prev, you know, if we don't want to keep the previous thing, we dinit. But then down here we just say keep prev is equal true, I guess. Kind of fucking weird, but it's fine, I guess. Not ideal for sure. I don't really like any of this, but you know, it is what it is. Cannot dereference regex item. Yeah, that's true. I'm a whiner, this guy. Invalid operands. Is that allowed? Is it double or? Is that allowed? Can you not do like, is it comma? Comma maybe? It did seem to be okay with that. It is true that if the previous element was a repeat, what do we do for, are we allowed to repeat a repeat? No. So we just kind of say, fuck off. All right. D init, he does need an allocator, and I think he needs to be var for D init to be allowed. Now we have some 56. What's going on there? Right, so instead of this, which says like replace this thing with a new thing, we just say try seek append contains equals split contains dot first. There we go. Okay, we have another one of those binary things we fucked up over here. This is a comma, not a pipe. 360 is mad that Alex don't say that we're allocating U8s. Fine. He wants to return errors here. That's fair and reasonable. And okay, regex replay. Let's see what happens. Panic, invalid free. So this is probably when I was a second ago, and I was like, I can't believe we don't see problems. You know, this is probably related. So prev lmd init here is saying like, hey, I'm not supposed to fucking free that shit, which I'm actually like really confused about. Really confused about. So he's saying like, bitch, don't free me. Oh, because there are references to segments of the input regex. Which kind of makes me think that we're doing something fucking stupid in regex interface, regex impl. I guarantee you that this is invalid. So, right, because we copy this from user and then like that shit just goes away probably. What happens to the pointer you get when you copy from user? Oh, this goes into buff pointer, which only gets error deferred. This leaks for sure, right? Regex compile depends on this. But when file is closed, we never free this because we lost it. Oops. All right, that's okay. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. A future problem for a future me. So this is kind of weird where some of these regex segments are referencing like the regex memory of the regex itself. Where some are not, and I think we just fix this by making them all reference that, right? So if our regex matchers kind of all, like these are all owned memory, then it kind of solves two problems at once. So we just have to make it so that whenever we construct contains, we, instead of doing this, say try alloc dupe u8 this. And I think that fixes it. Now we just have leakies, but not crashies, which I'm totally okay with. So who is leakies? Probably the matcher. This guy needs to say for item or self sequence item dinit alloc. And that probably fixes it. There's still some more leakies. Oh, this is an error in compilation. Okay. But then other guys are still leakies. Split contains. Do we not have an error defer here? We say error defer dinit, please. I guess probably here we don't have a dinit of all the elements we push this thing. So for seek items, item, we need a item dinit alloc here as well. He's mad because this needs to be a little star boy. Now we have an invalid free. Again. Regex compile, item dinit, char set, alloc free. Right, because that's the same fucking shit. Try alloc dupe u8 car set. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Now we just say unimplemented, which is great. So this is at 79. And I think it's just not unimplemented anymore. This feels really implemented to me. I'm not gonna lie. So let's try again. Failed to run matcher, which is fine. But now if we refresh our little web pagey, if we run our server, of course. JSON parse failed. That's sick. Love that. We do see repeat Y here, which is good. I don't know why the web page isn't working. Oh, it's probably we've done something stupid, like hard-coded this to the absolute path, not a relative path. There we go. So yeah, this repeat. Oh yeah, sick. Okay. So we can actually see exactly what we expect to see here, right? Is that we have like again, thing, repeat Y, friends. And here we see like we kind of like rip through this stuff. We see an again, and then it's like not what we want. So we see an again, and then we hit the repeat, and then it's just like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with that repeat? He crashes, and that's where this like unimplement fail to run matcher comes. And so this is as far as we get because we hit the repeat and we just stop. So I think, let's try also another one where we maybe, try repeating a char set. So if we say like ASDF star, we should see that this turns into repeat the car set of ASDF. It's hard to see here, but there is like a square bracket in there. Isn't that pretty sick? Pretty sick, I will say. Okay. Quit. All right. So now we just have to like do something. Something indeed. So what are we gonna do? We basically want to try starting to match this wildcard. And let's just start by like this starts with feels like it's wrong now, right? When we say like, hey, we have this match item, does it start with this thing? I kind of feel like this should return like the match bounds, right? So he says like, hey, I'm looking at like this segment of the regex that I'm trying to match against. I have this like thing I want to match. Where does it fucking match? And for a wild card, this is gonna have like a, I guess this is like end bounds. So it's like we have a case where we have the string ASDF, right? And we have like AS, right? So this should return 2, right? But if we had ASDF star as our regex, right? This should return like 0 to 4, right? We need to say like, we could consume nothing here. That's fine by me. But we could also consume up to 4 things. And just like, fuck it, you know? Seems reasonable to me. So this, I guess, is going to have like a const match bounds, which already exists, which is kind of interesting. Oh, this is funny. So we already had this concept for the recording system. The recording system would record start to end. And now we kind of want start to like end like min and max end. So maybe we don't want to call this match bounds because that already exists. We'll call this like a match ends. Match and min to max match bounds. It feels like it should be match bounds, to be honest. It really feels like it should be match bounds, but it's just like that's a term that we are already using here. End bounds and match match range, which is just the same thing as match bounds, but now it has a different word, which is like, you know, still confusing but less confusing. I'm willing to take this. So here we'll say that we have like min and max, and we'll just kind of document this here as like minimum match minimum to maximum match lengths, match indices. Okay, so this is going to return a match range, and he can be nothing. I and match bound range constructor manager. Yeah, I know. We are getting into the. You know what? I will say, I don't get the hate on managers. You know, like sometimes you have a thing that manages stuff, and I think shying away from the word manager because you've had too many managers in your life is like, yeah, I think they're okay. But that I use it too. It's just funny to rip on Java. Yeah, I will say that seeing it with my eyes still gives me the like, ugh. Like I can't help myself. I have like an involuntary like gag, but it's not that bad. Okay. So contains, this is a null now. But now this thing, if this, we return basically min is the S len and max is the S len. There's only one thing that this could be. And then if this does not match, we return null. There's no match here. Okay. Start of line, we say if this, return min is equal to 1, max is equal to 1. There's only one potential thing here. Else return null. Okay. Kind of same here. I wonder if we can do like from condition and length. I kind of feel like this is happening enough that I want to say like cond is a bool. And len is a usize, I guess, and he returns a match range. So if cond return min equals len, max equals len, else return null. There we go. Then here we can say like match range from cond and len, this thing and slen like this. Boom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Does seem like you do like start pause is less than line len and this, and kind of fold this down even more. This is now this, whatever this thing said, and 1. There we go. So this is return match range from cond and len, cond len again. We'll figure out the repeat one in a second. And then this is turn match range from cond and len. Let's see. So this is the only length could be 1, it looks like. So I guess we'll just here, we'll return. Fuck it. Min is equal 1, max equal 1. Sure. And so this num bytes thing kind of just disappears because it's kind of now encoded in this response. So here we have somewhere we check if it matches here. If it starts with, I mean, here so we say const matched match range is match item match range. This thing can still fail. And self.s self string pause. And then we say if match range is not equal to null. No, wait, if it doesn't start with. So this is if match range equals null, which kind of means that this is all an or else. Then down here, let's just for now consume as much as we can. Match range max. Which seems a little silly, but it will get us to where we need to go. Failed to run matcher, that's fair, because there's still an unimplemented somewhere, it's here. So here, what do we return? Basically, we just say so we have like a matcher inside, right? Which allows us to match a range, which is the function that we're in right now, which is not helpful to us. Is it? It is. Because that will do everything, that'll handle all of the possible conditions here. So here it's almost like start pause is repeat pause equals start pause, right? And we say like while m match range while M match range. Maybe we do this once first. Given line and start pause or repeat pause. Right? We kind of say that like we have like the min comes out of this. No, the inner first range is this. And then we say, you know, min, no. Repeat const min is equal to first range dot min. Repeat pause plus equals first range max. And then we just keep going. We just do this until it doesn't match anymore. So we almost want like while try this. We have like const min is equal to start. I guess this is like var ret is equal to null, and the ret is a match range. If we get this one time, we have like a special case for once and first time we set min and max, all other times we only set max. So there is a first run here. There is a first run. So if we do this, or else return null, I think makes sense here. There we go. Yup. Yup. And then while we keep going, this gets a range. Max is equal to range max. Right? Right? So the maximum things we could return is this. Now the problem is I think we need to do like +1 here. Max +1. Yeah. Yeah. And then we return min is equal min, max equal max. That feels right to me. That feels right. We'll kind of see what happens here when we do this. So he says, hello again, my friends did not match, but like why? You know? Why didn't he match? So we can kind of run the timeline here. And he says, again, and the M is not reaching because it does say repeat ASDF, which is fair, right? What if we repeat an M? Or repeat the Y, like we said we were doing before. That matched. So that's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting. It seems like I don't think that we don't handle like backtracking at all, but we do see that this like repeat Y has matched something, right? And I bet you if we do this again with just like throw a bunch of Y's in here, I think that that does not match. That's interesting. I thought that would. I'm not gonna lie. Can we look at like what happened here? So here he says hello again, and after the first match he gives up. So the question is, why the fuck did that happen, right? And I will say this, it feels good to have this. It feels good to have this. So we can tell that it's something about this, right? So this must have only matched the first one. Because this isn't matching, this is fucking not matching from... No, okay, so start pause, we return. We're not returning the index here. We're returning the length. So we'll call this match lengths. Min, max, match lengths. which means now we need to be returning start pause plus the max length. In which case, I don't know if this +1 is necessary. If we matched one character, then we increment by 1. That feels right to me. This is looping forever, so certainly not. Because this is just doing start pause plus max, 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 max. This needs to be max plus equals range.max, right? So each time we increment, we are adding more to our maximum instead of just doing the same thing over and over again. And this matches, which is really good for us. That's very promising, to be honest. We can see that it is matching correctly, right? We see that these y is repeat y, which is pretty sick. Pretty sick. Now, what happens if we do like repeat like some, multiple options, my star, right? If we do this, that also matches. And we should see now, yeah, we see that we have like repeat of my, and this is working. So that's pretty fucking sick. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty sick. Now, I think that the thing that we're missing now is like, what do we do when it doesn't match, right? So let me think for a second. So this thing is supposed to support. Right now we're kind of jumping to the end of the match no matter what, right? So I think that the failure case is if we have the same thing again after, right? So if we have match y's, and then another y comes after the repeat, that's when this will fall over. So if we do this, right, as Roboboto, dude, I always think I'm saying it wrong, but I think that is just how it is. Roboboto, as he did point out that basically this is the failure case here, where I put another y here. Oopsies, sorry, after the star. So this does not match when it definitely should, right? And we can watch how it fails here. We'll see that like as we walk through, we go hello again, he jumps to the end, and then he goes to the next character and he's like, well, it didn't work, so I'm gonna go back. And so what he actually has to do here is he has to jump backwards. He kind of has to like consume this whole area, right? So he has to say like while the range of the match is not 0, go back by 1, which makes this like kind of like shitty and n squared and stuff. But I'm okay with that for now. I think n squared. So let's kind of say that we are at 01, 08, 20. Let's say that we kind of did this, and let's say that we have to like implement backtracking. So I kind of think that like our match iterator, maybe, he kind of has to say like, these are like the things I'm matching. Sure. It's almost like we have to track the bounds. Like before this like match bounds thing was like a total debug info, right? We were kind of saying like, oh yeah, this section matched this stuff. But we also kind of need to keep track of like repeat or like back, like how do I say this? Retry ranges or something. Right, I'm imagining that like we have like A star, B star, C star, right? And maybe it's like say we had A, B star, A, B star. Then something, there's some case here. Yeah. Say we had this. A B star, A C star, A B star, and you had the string A B B like AC, I don't know, AB or something. B here, I don't know. There's something here where it's like there's a way to get this that you have to try going back more to find it. I can't find an example. There's something I'm fairly certain that there's going to be a case where you have like move forward, 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 then back by 1, back by 2, and then like then you can only match one of these things by like going back past one of the wildcard matches. I'm imagining that like you have to backtrack all the way through the AC matches, then start backtracking through some of the AB matches in order to get the right answer. But I can't construct a case like that in my head. I have a very strong gut feeling that's gonna happen. So I guess here we'll have like retry, backtrack ranges. And for each of these, we kind of have to know like which, after we backtrack, then we have to know which matcher that we want to use after backtracking. Which I think is fine because we have our sequence position here, like which matcher we're on. And so it's just like every time we pop a backtrack range, we decrement sequence pause by 1. And I think that kind of fixes it. So I think we call this like a stood array list of match range match I'm just gonna use bounds. Fuck it. Fix me. Is match bounds the right type? I don't know. Something like haha and that haha that. Maybe I'm having trouble like finding it. I'm having trouble finding it, but I'm fairly confident. Okay. So we get this match range and we immediately consume the whole thing. But before we do that, we say self backtrack ranges append start is self string pause plus match range dot min, right? And end is self string pause plus match range dot max, I think. Then when we fail to match, instead of immediately just jumping back to the like trying to start again, we need to like first try backtracking. So we're gonna say if self backtrack ranges dot pop or null, no. Last, get last or null. Sure. This means that there was still more backtrack to do. So return null so that we don't do this backtracking down here. And in this case, we need to say like, maybe we take this by pointer. I'm assuming this returns. This does not return by pointer. So maybe we want to do if self backtrack ranges length items len is greater than 0. We have range is self backtrack ranges items this -1, I think, by reference. If range dot min is equal to range max, we like pop that thing, I think. Sounds like cases where you have an optional character, the backtracking. Yeah, I think that that's going to be very similar. I kind of forgot about optional characters. Maybe we should have started there. That might have been easier, but fuck it. you know? Okay. So here we kind of want like range.max minus equals 1. And this isn't, these aren't min and max, this is end. So this is start and end. If we have kind of gone all the way back, then that means that we don't need this one anymore. So backtrack ranges dot pop. And then we return null. Is there anything else we have to do here? We have to reset the start pause. So here our sequence pause. Oh, if we pop this thing, let me think for a second. I think no matter what, we have to go back by 1 sequence position again. No, we don't. It's only if we pop it do we go back by 1 sequence position. So we like go back to the repeat matcher again. Yeah. I'm not convinced. There's something I don't have this fully laid out in my mind. This is so we have like matcher A. We have like matchers A, B, and C, right? Say like A has the range 0 to 4. B has the range like 4 to 7. C has the range 7 to 11 or something, right? So we kind of like backtrack this, and we're trying to match like we've matched A, B, and C, so we're like running D here, right? We're running D here, and then we go like 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. We get to 7, and now all of a sudden we pop all of this, and now we should be running C. So how do we track that? Well, it's definitely that when we pop this thing, we switch our matcher. And in this case, we need to like go again. We need like self self string pause needs to then equal, we need to like pop and then try to do the same thing on the previous range. So if we do this while we continue here and say sequence pause minus equals 1. Right? Then we just kind of go again. And then we get like the new range. And if this is not the case, I think this comes first. Otherwise, then we are using this one. And our self string pause is equal to range dot end before we do this. I think that feels right to me. Let's try it. Missing struct backtrack ranges at wherever the fuck this thing is constructed. Okay. Which means that this needs alloc here. Okay. This is almost like var ret is equal to make it alloc ness. and then ret match bounds is equal. We tack on the debug stuff at the end. Maybe. This feels like it might work. There we go. All right. Someone's going to complain. Because we need to not... We were trying to discard this thing. So that's okay. And then error union is ignored at wherever the fuck we did this. Okay. Regex 177 needs this to take an allocator now. Which means that dev regex impl also needs to take an allocator here, which I think we can use self.alloc, and that's fine. All of this is kind of indicating that, like, there needs to be a DINIT. Oh, and there is. We already did this thing, so it's fine. It's fine. There's already some memory in there. And it looks like regex replay. So here we did the y star y thing. We definitely leaked, but did it work? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves. LCQ, what is up, buddy? What is up? Okay, so here we get, again, he immediately gets the end, and then he backtracks, and then, oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that's working. That's working. So you can see he goes again. He immediately consumes as much of this as he can. And then the next step is that he doesn't advance, so he backtracks. Then he goes again. Hell yeah, dude. I think that the debug state needs to be a little bit improved here. Also, every time I go to L:'Q's chat, he's like, guys, say hi to Spheriphoria. So now I feel like if I don't do it back, it's like unfair. So I have to, this is the first time I've ever typed shout out. So now now it's just the way it is. It's the way it goes. Okay. So let's see. This match bounds thing needs to be adjusted when we backtrack. Is there any reasonable idea to remove alloc from every function signature by using semi-global ones or something? There's an intentional reason that doesn't happen, and it's because the caller of your thing might choose to use different allocators in different scenarios, right? Sometimes I use an arena allocator, which says like, I'm going to keep track of all of the pages I'm allocating, but people can shove extra shit into here. And then instead of me de-initting every single struct manually, you can just say, fuck it, we'll just forget everything. And so, like, how do I say this? It's intentional to not use a global one there. Because you want to kind of give flexibility to your callers. Okay, so if we go back by one, our match range needs to kind of indicate that. So here, when we go back by one, our full match bounds needs to be popped, right? We say we have considered the last thing not relevant, so we will get rid of it. And then here, if we are going back by one here, we need to say our last element. It should be like MB at MB items len -1 dot end minus equals 1 as well. I think. Not really sure. He's mad because this doesn't say items. So let's try that. And so now, hopefully what I expect to see here is that when we run our little visualizer, we should see the blue section kind of decrease when he goes backwards, which we do see, but he decreases by one too many. He decreases by one too many, which is kind of interesting. It's a little surprising to me. Why? Oh, you know what? No, repeat my, my, and then we have y friends. So yeah, why is this one not highlighted then? Match bounds, append, blah, 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 blah. It's almost like this is happening one too many times. This is the only place where this makes sense. But we did go back by one. Am I stupid? I guess this is for next time. So it's almost we want this to be like this. Although I don't really understand why that needs, like, I'm not fully understanding in my head the values here, but that does seem to do what I want. So here you can see he tries to match some stuff, he fails, he tries to match some stuff, he fails, so he backs up, then he does the rest. And so we should be able to see now, if we start changing this, my star Y here, and we just check on like 4 Ys here, I think what I expect to see happen is I expect to see it backtrack several times. So here we kind of consume the whole thing, and we try again, we go again, back, boom. How fucking sick is that, guys? How fucking cool is that? Look at that. He goes boom, 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 boom. That's actually like so fucking cool. That's so cool. I wonder what happens if we do something like we put like 3 Ys here too. Right? So this is gonna do some like wacky shit. It does look like he's still correctly matched, and I want to see like what the fucking thing does here. So here we see, oh, interesting. So here he went forwards. He matched, oh, oops, I wanted a star after the first my. That was my bad. So here we put a star here. That does match, okay, and let's kind of see what the thing does. So he kind of goes here and he jumps to the end like we expect. He kind of starts backtracking. And he sees the YY, but then still he fails again. So he keeps backtracking before. He does this again. And oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! That's so sick! Right? So he like we see him like greedy consume, and he goes like, I fucked up, try this. And so this is now trying the like, sorry, there's too much on screen. So here we have repeat MY, then he keeps basically going back and consuming this YY until he can find this YY friends. Oh, it's so sick. That's actually so cool. And what's also kind of fun, I mean, I'm going to have to come up with more test cases. But what's really sick about this is that I wasn't really sure if this would work. Like, we kind of like started doing stuff, and we just ended up here. And I don't think there's anything more to do. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty stoked on it. Does anyone in chat have like a test case that they want to try? If you guys want to, I'll try something. But I mean, otherwise, I think I'm pretty happy with where we got. This is like super fucking sick. Did you implement the matching engine? We implemented part of it. Once again, the viz paying off. Yeah, I think it's paying off well. Optional cars. Yeah, we can do an optional car right now. I guess the optional characters should be like almost free to implement. So yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. 01 2840. Implement optional characters. Do you have look ahead and look behind assertions? Dude, you're assuming way more knowledge than we should have. I'm kind of just like, I like typed in like regex engine. Like I've just used them before. No, don't apologize. I'm saying like, it's funny that you're like, did you do this thing? I'm like, dude, I don't know what a regex engine is. Like we just started typing and ended up here. So if you want to tell me what those are, that would be probably useful information. Okay, so we'll call this like repeat characters working. And let's try to add an optional character. Because I do think that should be really easy to implement now. So our optional characters, we kind of huck in here and we say optional. Oh, did we, hold on. before we do that, we should make sure that our repeat characters, this min is actually wrong, by the way. This should be 0. Like, kind of unconditionally, right? Because, we said that these were 0 or more matches. So let's, before we get crazy here, let's just test that the 0 or more case is working. So let's just throw in, like, kind of at the end of this, like, my star. Let's do hello again, my, and then just do, like, ASDF star here, right? So here, if we do hello again, my friends, we should see that this matches. He says it does not match, which is a problem. This is a problem. And so we'll call this fix 0 case. So let's run our little viz and kind of see what happens here. So he goes, boom, hello, my, oh, this is just wrong. That's why. So we need my to have a star after it as well. Okay. Python, replay. So he says, hello again, my, why is this not working? Oh, because I didn't put the star again, like a fucking idiot. Okay. So here it says, hello again, my. Repeat does not match. He backtracks and then gives up. So this is a problem. This is a problem. And it's because here we say, or else return null. And so here we should just return min equals 0, max equals 0. Right? So in the case where there's nothing there, that's totally fine and legal. We just have to, like, correctly identify that. And, like, look at that. No yellow, hell yeah. And then we should also make sure that the case where it backtracks into that state also works. So we can do something like replay. I guess we want to look for something where it's like he looks for F star here, right? So he says, like, hello, my friends. And then this F star should match the F and then immediately backtrack and then go back to 0. That's what we're expecting to see here. So here we're going to go, hello again, my. He matches the F here with the repeat F, backtracks, and then tries again. Oh, that's not good. There's a mistake in here. Right here, you backtracked too far. Also, I don't know where this yellow is coming from. This yellow is not matching any of these colors here, which is kind of fucking weird. Oh, it's probably because this is a bug in the JavaScript here. We need to make sure if in the case where we are putting these, we are marking these things somewhere, make colors, render matchers. In our text here, we need to have, like, these things have a minimum width. So here, right, like, I'll bet you here if we look at the HTML, we probably have a section for that right here. But we just need him to, like, we basically need him to have, like, a min height of something, right? We need, like, min height 1 em and min width 1 ch. There we go. I think that does it. Min width. 1 ch. Why are we talking about killing threads? I forget. Do you have a plus? Not yet. Could it be viable to time out these operations? So because of the way it's implemented, yes. Because we have this thing implemented as an iterator. For debugging purposes, but it also kind of makes it work out well for this stuff, right? So since we are basically stepping the algorithm one kind of character match at a time, we could kind of make this a little more granular. No, not this one. Sorry, that's the Lexer. The matcher here, right? We're kind of stepping this thing like one character position at a time, one matcher at a time, I guess. It's feasible that we could just stop stepping it if it took too long. Too bad. I have a banger for you, but it involves a plus. Oh, I see, because I was asking if you guys had test cases. Try something like dot star, dot star, dot star, dot star, dot star, hello, my friends. Because you think that it could just like blow it the fuck up. I am kind of curious what it does there, but I want to do that after I fix this zero case. So first, I think we fixed the rendering was the first thing we want to do there of the matchers. So now we have this yellow thing is visible. And now we have to figure out why did it jump back here? So here he went back. Oh, because in our backtracking code, we popped if min equals max. So we had like range.min equal or something min max. We had this in backtrack. Am I fucking stupid? Backtrack ranges. If range start equals range end, we pop it. But we need to do this if range start is not equal to 0 and this, right? Because it's totally valid for us to have something that's 0, 0. And if it's 0, 0, if we get to 0, then we just don't do this. So actually, maybe we leave that in, and here we say if range start is equal to 0, not equal to 0. Range end is not equal to 0, I guess. We do this. That feels right to me. So basically, like, as we go backwards, 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 we say, like, we decrease the sequence position. Oh, it doesn't matter. This should only happen one time. This only happens on the last iteration. So on the last iteration, it doesn't matter if we do start or end check here. But if the range is not 0, then we go back one matcher. Otherwise, we are allowing ourselves to continue keeping this matcher marked as successful, which I think is fair. I think that's fair. I assume your regex is your engine. Sorry, try something like dot. I assume your engine is greedy match, which means that if qualifier then match it, if a qualifier can match, it will. That is kind of what we're doing. I think that's how this works right now because we're jumping to the maximum. We're checking the maximum first, which I think is correct. I think. All right, what happened now? So here we said, hello again, my friends. And he's still double jumping here, which I don't like. I don't like that at all. I think it's fine to pop the backtrack range there. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong here for sure. I guess even if it's 0 length, we should still pop it. That's still reasonable. It's just that if it's 0 range, we should try to use that first. Like, it's not like a hard stop. It's not like a hard stop, which means that, like, this whole if condition here is kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up. So what is the condition here? If we failed to match, we failed to match the next thing. So we've matched like matcher A, matcher B, matcher C. Matcher C is 0 length, and we check. Can we match matcher D? No. Then in that case, we should pop, even if we're 0 length. So that's kind of correct. What's happening though is that we're double popping in one iteration. Right? The problem is that we should allow this to try one time with 0 range. So if range start equals range end, do we just not continue here? If we're popping once too early. So if the range start equals the range end, if the range start is equal to the range end, then that's fine. We can still go back. Oh, which we did. Range start, range end means that this, here we said we did not fucking match a thing. And so we are saying, well, are we good to go? Like, is there something to backtrack? Yes. I think that we need to change the representation of this just a little bit. So I think what's happening now is our range end is indicating the next thing to try instead of the last thing we tried. And if the next thing to, we can't let this go below 0. So we need to store the last thing we tried here. So here, which makes me think this has to be -1 down here when we first inject the backtrack thing. Then here, this is okay, I think, now. Because now it's like, if the last thing we tried was the last possible element, then yeah, we have all of this stuff to do. And even then this guard doesn't make sense, I don't think. Then here we say we decrement first. No. It feels like then we go to the next thing to try, and the match bounds equals that. It feels to me like this is wrong now. I don't know why it was going back by 1 again before, to be honest. There's something about this that I don't understand, but we'll try this, and then we'll take a look at what it does with this code and see if it looks fucking stupid. Integer overflow. So this is at 141. This, I feel like, shouldn't happen. Because that means the range end is hitting 0. So, sorry. Oh, this is the next thing to try. So if the next... Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this. I feel like... Yeah, wait. God damn it. Something's off here, and I can't see it. I can't see it yet. And I just know it's so simple. It's an off by 1. String pause is the end. The end here gets set to the match range maximum. So when we first eat this thing, we gobble up as much as we can. The string pause ends up being 1 past the matched sections. We see that in our visualizer. We go, fuck. It doesn't match. We come in. We're on the next fucking run. We don't match. And if, in that case, I wonder if it's just like this while loop shouldn't happen. Because in that case, we then see that the start is equal to the end. We say we are going to try that next, or we just tried that. Previously, it was we just tried that. So if we just tried 0, 0, then we are done, which I think is reasonable. Otherwise, we set it to the current thing, and then we say the next thing to try. Or no, we just tried this one, so we go back. This feels maybe right to me. Let's try that. It could just be that we had a continue there when we should have had a return null. He doesn't like that though. He's kind of infinite looping. Because here, nothing changes. Self sequence pause minus equals 1. If range at, whoa, this. I'm confused again. what is this case even handling? This is handling, like, we had 2 back-to-back wildcards. We had 2 back-to-back wildcards. And we are trying to, one of them is finished. So this is supposed to check if that wildcard range is done. We're donezo. We've done everything we fucking can, right? Which, again, we need to make sure that that means that the end is marking the thing that we tried last. If this thing that we tried last is the fucking start of the range, then we're fucking donezo. And in which case it made sense for this to be like, okay, pop that shit and try the next thing. Right, because then again, then we go back to the previous version, the previous matcher, and then we say, what was the last thing we tried on this one? Go back by one and try that. All of that feels like it makes sense. All of that feels like it makes sense. Then why doesn't it work? Chromosome Drift, thanks for the tier 1. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. That's a lot of code for one method. Split it up. Okay, just for the record. That's like, it's a lot. Yes, I agree. But it's not like a lot with capital L-O-T. Right? It's like, I agree. It will get split up in the future. But not right now, because we're in prototype mode. Sure, regular expressions have been studied for a long time, and extensions are common. I'm not an expert, but it seems ordinary grep, which uses basic regexes by default, though is implemented with Thompson FA. Are you saying that that's what it looks like I'm doing? I wasn't really paying attention. But if so, yeah, I'm not really sure. Question mark, no, it's not that much code, lol. Yeah, I mean, I can see, I am I'm on the side of people say, like, one screen. And I think that, you know, hard rules are stupid. Hard rules are silly. But I will say that I struggle to keep track of all of the variables very quickly. And so I often try to split things up just for the fact that I cannot manage the amount of state on my screen at one time. But in this specific scenario, fuck it, I'll get to it later. I'm not seeing why it's double. So the mistake here is that in one iteration of the loop, it's double popping. It's double popping, and let's just double check again. We'll double check again. We'll run our Python thing. And so here we're going boom, 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 boom. Why is nothing highlighted? Oh, here. Yes, it's this step right here. This step right here is going like, he's popping all of the repeat F. Oh, so he pops repeat F. Then he sees that the next thing to backtrack is back here. And so let's just double check here. Are we ever getting to string pause is equal to range.start? In which case, don't look at the size of zero switch block in the compiler. I have opened the compiler before, and I'm like, God damn, it's gonna take me a while to understand this. Not saying that it's hard. Like, I think there's just a lot of stuff going on in there, and so it's like I look at it, I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff. But I do wanna get my head in there sometime. Okay, so here, let's say first let's print like the range and the string pause. Okay, let's just start there. So we see range 21 and 22, 18 and 19, 21, 22. So wait, which ones of these? What's happening? What am I looking at here? What am I looking at here? I am looking at the ranges of these two repeats. So 21 to 22 must be this F thing. And we never see him at 21. We never see him at 21. I almost just want to do this. That might be fucking stupid. Subtract range on end, then apply it. I almost want to do that. It could be that we were kind of... Oh, that does do what I want. So he tries the F, he backtracks, and then friends matches. So I think that it's that I was checking the last... I think that I was, how do I say this? I have this like range of things that I'm willing to match, right? So I tried this, right? And then instead of trying this next, I think I tried this again and then never tried the first thing. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And so I think that it was just the bug was that these two, that I had this in the wrong order, where I was decreasing after assigning the string pause instead of before. Okay. So I think that's 0K is probably fixed, and then I'm down to try optionals now, because I feel like the optional is like kind of like the extreme case of what we just implemented. And so that will confirm if we did this right. So here we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna look for a question mark, and this is optional. Here we're gonna say optional like this, and this also has to go in the list of special characters here, optional. Then if we have an optional thing, this is also just a match item, I guess. I guess our optional can be kind of structured as a repeat of... I guess it is kind of separate, a different thing. Optional here says we're going to have a maybe thing that we might match. And certainly, when we compile this thing, the optional compilation must look a lot like the repeat compilation. So we kind of have the same... I assume that question mark star is not valid. I assume. Yeah, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. And so when we compile this thing, I guess we kind of want to be like, contains split last car. This doesn't really make sense. This does make sense. But factoring this out doesn't necessarily make sense. He pulls out the last element, then kind of has like behavior based off what that last element was. I guess this split of the previous element, all of this is common. It's all common. It's just whether or not we repeat that thing many times or one time. So it's almost like we need some function that's like whatever the fuck this does. So kind of like everything in here gets put into like function, like like extract repeating, extract lm to repeat. That's kind of what this feels like it does. And here we just say, I guess this returns a match item. Okay, and then we have like our sequence here. Array list of match item, I think is what this is, if I remember correctly. Stood array list of match items. We need an allocator, I guess. Then the rest of this looks like it's fine. It's just here we return new match. I don't like this. I don't like this. Because before we were kind of like popping one thing and then pushing two things in. It's kind of we want to change like this. So it's almost like we want to like apply repeat elem, and then maybe this just takes in like a function that's like make like repeat type, I guess, is fine. It's fine. I don't really like doing it this way, but that's fine. So here we'll have repeat or optional. Yeah, I usually like, I don't like switch it, like have it like adding ifs based off of some input. I like generally it feels kind of bad to me. But it's fine, I guess. And then here we just need to be like, it's like I want like just, how do I like assign this right here? I guess it's almost like I want like a function here that takes in like a match item and returns a new match item. It feels like that's what I want. Or even like a match item pointer here. Then here I can say f new match like this, right? And then all we have to do is like function make repeat. Oh yeah, that feels right. Returns a match item. Yeah. This feels right. This feels right. This is repeat equals item like this. And then we have make optional. Oh, yeah. And then in the repeat stuff up here, this becomes apply repeat elem alloc sequence and make repeat. Oh, yeah. Then option all is the same, but we just take make option. That feels right. No need to apologize for being overly talky. It's just I have to decide whether or not it's worth me parsing the input and responding to it, and sometimes it's not worth it. So it's really unclear on Twitch. It's unclear to me if like people talk to other chatters or people want to talk to the streamer more, and I think it's kind of hard to tell because it's both, right? And so like if there's a lot of stuff going on, I kind of just have to assume that you want to talk to other chatters, or I'm not, like it's too much for me to handle and make progress on. It also depends on like I have like different modes of operation. Right now we're kind of in like focus mode, right? But if I was in more of a like fuck around mode, which is usually flagged by music happening on stream, then in that case I'd be more willing to like spend time not coding and reading. But it's just I'm trying to make progress right now. So it is what it is. Okay, so now I think the only thing left here is that the match range for a repeat elem and an optional elem are very similar. Except, it's just we don't have this while loop, right? So we still do like the first range is the match range or else return 0, 0. Otherwise, I guess it's just we return the match range. We return the match range or nothing. Yeah. Okay, now we just have to fix compilers. So must handle all possibilities at 349. Right, so toString optional needs a little thing to write about. So this is, I guess, the same thing where we toString the inner thing, but just instead of repeat, we write optional here. Seems reasonable. Error unions discarded at 25, so these need tries on them. Then here, function with non-void return type returns something, so 399, so that's kind of down here. I guess we do, this does not return anything anymore, that's why. We fix the return with passing in an argument. This must handle RL at 262, so this guy has optional needs to de-init his item and destroy himself, that's fine. Kind of the same shit. And what do you guys think? First try? First try? We're going to replace this, we're going to say F question mark here instead of F star. And we'll see what it does. We'll see what it does. So let's Python. And refresh. He does say repeat F there again, which kind of makes me think that we didn't do it. I mean, it does say question mark. Is it possible that we wrote the wrong thing? When we parse the question mark in the lexer, did we accidentally send out repeat? No, this does say optional. So who somewhere is like still making an on compilation? Make option here is not returning option, which would do it. That would do it, huh? No name optional. Optional. And let's try again. Python. So now we do see optional here, and now he is not matching correctly. So we go forward. He sees the F, and he's double backtracking again. We have the same double backtracking problem that we had before, which is a problem. So when it's repeat, it seems okay. But when it's optional, it's not. Fuck. Looks like we didn't fix it right the last time. Hello again, my F. Backtrack. Oh no, wait. Oh wait. Optional. Refresh. So he goes forward, and then here he goes bump bump. Fuck. So maybe our off by one was not quite right. So I guess it would be nice to look at, can we like debug if the thing is optional here? Match range. So if match item, we are just seeing it like double jump again, I think. Can we like stood debug print jumping back? Oops, this does need like this. Oh, he doesn't like this. It's gonna be stood log debug because it's not always, he doesn't always have standard out. But he does always have a log function. This doesn't help us. This does not help us. This does not help us. Oh, I don't want to fucking just like eat this shit again. Is it possible for us to like... It sucks because the visualization kind of only happens after the whole thing is run. So it's kind of hard to like glean information in the debugger, you know? I guess we kind of know which character position this is, though. We can kind of count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we do want to see something that goes from range 20 to 21. So let's see if we see that. So can we look at stood debug print, std log debug any of self backtrack ranges. So here we're hoping to see something that has a 20 to 21. Fuck off. Items. Okay, so do we have a 20 to 21? No. We have a 21 to 21. We have a 21 to 21. Let's just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So F is at character position 21. And so here it just seems like the match bounds being 0. 0 here means that the next character is part of the next matcher. That's what it means here. That's what it means. So our range here actually needs to go (21 to 22) or something. This needs to be like this or something. Well, I guess the fact that this ever says 21 to 21, that feels wrong too, actually. It feels like it should be 21 to 22. So when we like match range here on an optional, our match range of the inner thing. Oh, we fucked this up. We fucked this up. Const max is this. We can't return just the match range of the thing inside. We have to return the match thing of 0 to that thing. That's where we fucked up. That's where we fucked up. Okay. So const for, we have to do this. We basically have to do const inner range is equal to all of this. And then we return, min equals 0, max equals inner range max. That's what we forgot to do. And now it matches again. So it actually, there was nothing wrong with the iteration itself. The bug was with our handling of the optional there. So here, if we Python HTTP server, we should see it go again, my friends, backtrack friends. Woo! We got there, guys. We got there. It took a minute, but we fucking got there. All right. Cool. I'm happy with this for now. I'm really happy with the way that this is like working. So thank you guys for watching. If you like what you saw, we stream most days at around 12:30 Pacific time to around 4 o'clock Pacific time. So 12:30 to 2, we call it happy hour. We listen to music. We kind of work on like cleanup and unit testing and like small tasks that don't really deserve their like a real stream, right? So and we kind of like, we listen to music, we're more like chatty. Then the 2 to 4 segment is kind of more like focused prototype work. I call it prototype mode, where we kind of like give less of a shit about code quality and work more on just like ripping through it and trying to get a feature out, like a feature working. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing the prototype mode section. But if you want to see the happy hour stuff, they're archived on Patreon, or you can swing by on Twitch between 12:30 and 4 o'clock, or 12:30 and 2 o'clock Pacific time. Let's see, if you're on Twitch, there's a YouTube link in the Twitch description, where you can check out all of our previous work organized into playlists. So if you want to check out some of our previous stuff, operating system was kind of interesting, map time is interesting, video editor was interesting, QR decoder was interesting. If you want to check those out, those are there. GitHub link in the Twitch description, where code for all of our projects is put up. This will probably go up soon in a slightly cleaned up state. What else? Like, subscribe, Twitch Prime, and I guess that's it. YouTube, see you later, and Twitch, let's find someone to raid.